Hi guys, and welcome back to the next video on tips and tricks in Caddy. These videos are based on your feedback, so click on the like and subscribe buttons and do not forget to send me your requests and feedback. My details can be found in the description, as well as download links for the files used in creating this video. In the previous video I demonstrated how to set up levels. In this video I'm going to apply the level functionality in the drawing and designing process. Up to this stage we have drawn a single story. But what happens when you have to modify or change an existing model or drawing? So I'm going to get rid of it by selecting it and hitting the delete key on the keyboard. Let's add the ground story slab here, which will then follow up in the steps onto the second ground level of 255. I am going to cut back on the slab with a value of 560 in order to make space for the stairs, and I'm going to show you an alternative way also to do those stairs. In adding the slab, Caddy offers a few methods of accomplishing this. If this was the single slab, I could just create it from the footprint when I drew the polyline outline from that line there. Instead, I'm going to create a new polyline outline for that slab. Remember that we have to cut back for the stairs, and that will be the 560 distance from there. My first step is I need to know where I want to draw the slab in relation with the UCS, or the user coordinate system. I will ensure that we are on the ground story level by selecting the levels and just selecting the correct level of 0.00. I know that the UCS has now shifted. We can have a look in the bottom right hand corner for the XYZ. The vertical height is on 0. If you suddenly lose objects you did not expect to lose at this point, it only means that the display layer group does not include those layers, and you can simply add them to that layer group. Having a quick look at the section we want to draw. I want to draw the slab of 85 mm thick, but starting at 85 mm below the 0 level or height, so that the top level of the slab sits on the 0 level. Back to plan view, I'm going to draw the rectangle to define that first slab. So from the toolbar at the top I will select rectangle. I will press E on the keyboard for endpoint snap mode, and I'm going to bring my pointer to the corner point there. Until I see the aperture, I'm going to press the equal sign on the keyboard, and I'm going to type the 530 distance that I want to offset in the vertical direction, and I want to go up, so I will use the up arrow on the keyboard. There you'll notice it has jumped and selected that point. All I have to do is go to the opposite direction and click on the corner. Now that we have defined the slab and can visually see that this is the correct size and origin, we will continue by clicking on build, and we will select slab. From this dialog box we can change the style, but for now I will remain with standard. I can always change it at a later stage should I need to. From the profile option I will select a profile or circle, and the thickness I want is 85 mm. The soffit height I will make -85 and click OK. In the command line, Caddy prompts me to indicate the polyline or the circle, and I will indicate the polyline. As Caddy remains in a loop, should I want to create more than one, I can continue, but for now I'm going to select right click or click on right click and option end. You'll notice our slab is a color green because I've set the color for this layer to pen 3. This was simply done by selecting the layer setup from the top toolbar, selecting the correct layer and changing the pen for that layer. I will orbit by pressing the shift key on the keyboard and clicking the left button of the mouse and the middle button of the mouse to swing it, and when I select one of the walls you can see exactly where the slab is sitting. So now I'm going to do the stairs, and I'm going to show an alternative way. Hitting T on the keyboard for top view, I'm going to select draw polyline, and I'm going to start at this point here, and I've got the polar tracking on, as you can see. So I want to go up 170, and I use the up arrow. Please zoom closer. I want to go to the right, so I type in 250 with my right arrow. I want to go up 85 with the up arrow, 250 to the right, 85 up, and 250 right. I'm going to hit E for endpoint, select that point there, bring it over until I get the projected point, and I'm going to close it, and I'm done. I'm going to switch off the polar tracking for the moment. So when I click on this, you'll see we've got a polyline, and all I have to do is to click on the context sensitive menu. I'm going to convert to mass element. Now I know the distance is 4560, so the height for this, I'm going to type in 4560. I'm going to press enter, and Caddy prompts me in the command line, do I want to add another polyline or circle? I say no, I just enter with the default. When I use the shift key on the left button of the mouse and I drag it, you'll see I've got a profile of a stair. So when I zoom out, you'll also see that it is in a vertical direction, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate it. So select the object. In my toolbar, I've got a shortcut here for 3D rotation. I want to rotate, let's put it to the side. I want to rotate it around the WCS. The X value is selected, 90 degrees, and I want to go anti-clockwise. And here you can work out the direction you want to swing. So I'm going to click OK, and in the command line, Caddy prompts me for indicate the point about which to rotate. So when I click that point, you'll see, if I turn and swing a bit, there is the profile. All I want to do now is I'll click on it. I'm going to say move it, or I can hit M on the keyboard. There prompts me to indicate the origin point, and I will hit E on the keyboard for endpoint, pick up that point, and I'm going to, while I'm busy moving it, I'm also going to rotate it. So I hit and rotate, and I'm going to rotate in a clockwise direction 90 degrees around the Z axis. Click OK, and you'll see the ghost image. It's what I want, and I'm going to place it down in that position there. I'm going to hit T on the keyboard for top view, and let's see what we've got. We are going to draw now a slab sitting on the 220 level. So the first step is now to select the correct level. So I select the drop down for my levels, and I will select ground story 0.255, and suddenly everything disappears. Remember that when we change levels, we also set our configuration up to change the display group. And as the ground level 0.00 does not belong to the second ground level group, it will not display. I'm briefly going to show you how to add it. From my toolbar at the top, I will click on the layer display command. Also very important, ensure that your update layers dynamically has been switched on, because this will visually show you what you select. I'm going to select the ground story 0.255 layer group, and you'll notice it is switched off because in the list, if I scroll up, the layers that contain the walls and doors for the ground story is not displayed. Pressing the control key, I will select the layers that I want to display, and very important to save that, I will select update, and Caddy will update that for me. When I click OK, I can press R on the screen for redraw. Now I am on the level of ground story 0.255, but I also see the level below that, so I can actually use that as reference. Let's switch on also the stairs. If I'm not sure on which layer the stairs are, all I have to do is select the level, select pertaining level, click on the stairs, and I can see it says on layer 12. So when I go back onto the ground story, it switches it off. From my toolbar, I will select the layer display command, select the ground story 0.255, and I will scroll up, press Control key, and switch on layer 12. Click on update. I want to overwrite that layer group, select yes, click OK, and when I press R on the screen for region, I can see the objects that are displayed. Next, I'm going to draw the profile for the slab at the height of 255. I've got my UC sitting at that height. You can look at the bottom of the coordinates, as well as the 2D, 3D settings set to 2D. I'm going to click on Draw Polyline. I'm going to hit X on the keyboard for Auto Snap. Start at the bottom left hand point. I'm going to indicate the first point, second point. I'm going to zoom a bit closer here, and I'm going to select that point there, and I'm going to run all around the direction of my profile. I've done that. I'm going to click on Slab, and I want style as standard. Again, I'm going to use a profile of polyline. I want a thickness of 85, but I want to go 85 below that position. Click on it, and I select the polyline. When I orbit, you will see the position is sitting at the 255 height from the WCS. Let's add the slab of the first story. Hitting the T on the keyboard to go to top view, I'm going to select the level first story. And no surprise, at this point in time, Caddy has changed the display group, which does not include the lower levels. So let's go and do that quickly. From my top toolbar, I will select Layer Display Command. I'm going to select First Story, and let's scroll up, and I want to add Walls, Ground Story, Windows and Doors, as well as for the next story. I'm going to update it, select Yes to save, click on OK, and all I have to do is just to reselect it, and you can see the walls below, which are displayed in a different color. Very important, 2D 3D setting must be set to 2D. I'm going to add now a profile, polyline profile for the slab, and I'm going to select rectangle. My snap is set to auto snap. I'm going to snap in the position of the inside of the wall. I will select slab, style standard. Again, from a polyline, the thickness I want is 170, but I want to start it at minus 170. Click on OK. Caddy prompts to indicate the line. I will indicate that, and there is our slab. So when I orbit, shift left button of the mouse and orbit that, you'll notice my slab is sitting at the correct height. If you look at the gap between the slab and the walls, and that is actually simply because when I click or select the wall, if I look in the object properties, you'll see the base height is 2720, but our slab is sitting at 3145. So all we have to do is to change the height from 2720 to 3145. Press enter, and there we go. It's done. For all of them, actually very simple. Select the walls, press Shift and A to select all the walls, and I'm going to the height and change all of them 3.145. Press enter, and my walls have been updated to the correct height. Now every time I've drawn something, I switch to the top view or the plan view. And just to prove to you that this is not necessary, at this view I'm going to select a rectangle with my snap set to auto snap. I'm going to indicate the first corner and the second opposite corner on that side. I want to select that, but because there's a lot of other objects, I'm going to switch the 3D off for the moment. I'm going to select that line, and I'm going to right click from the context sensitive menu. I'm going to select Convert to Walls. From here I want a new wall. The height is 2550 and the variable width is 220, but obviously the origin is right. Click OK. You don't see anything now because the 3D has been switched off. So I switch that back on, and we've got our first story walls already set up. Now look what happens when we go and play with the levels. If I select the first one, ground story 0.00, it switches all the other layers off. If I select the next one, it will add those components or objects, and if I select the first story one, it shows me the total one. In the next video we will continue by not only adding roofs, but also demonstrate how simple it is to even edit them.
If you enjoyed watching this video, click the like and subscribe buttons, and do not forget to send me your comments and requests. My details as well as download links for the files used in creating this video can be found in the description below. Happy drawing!